I want to bring in now Traderade co-founder Ayesha Tariq. And Ayesha, I've got your board up here. The first thing that leaps out to me is the recession. Nothing. So there's nothing. Growth, credit, earnings, monetary policy. We're okay. There's no chance of a recession.
So honestly, that kind of surprised me as well, Charles, and thank you for having me back. But yes, I mean, when I looked at this and I looked at the description of early, mid, late, and recession, and I tried to, fill in the boxes, I realized that we're not really ticking any of the boxes for the recession. So
right.
I can't rule out a recession completely, and we never say never, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it looks like we are kind of skipping a recession and going from late cycle to early cycle right away.
What does that mean, though? Like, to someone who's in the market but not an economist or not a strategist, they hear these terms, early, mid, late cycle, they're used a lot by Wall Street experts. What does it mean for someone in the stock market?
So we obviously have different sectors which are more favored in late cycle and early cycle. Early cycle, obviously, as the name suggests, we are like growing and things are improving. Late cycle, things are getting slower, so we like more defensive, industrial type of stocks. Tech actually does quite well in early cycle. But we have a bit of a mix over here as well, because tech's actually doing well now as well. So I think, there are different sectors, right, and they do well in different parts of the cycle.
So I've got to ask you a question, of course, that everyone's talking about, just the concentration, right? You've got the top 10 stocks by size here. It's about 75% versus the entire market. And you've got to go back to 1929 when it was at the same level. Of course, 1929 synonymous with one of the biggest crashes in U.S. history. So how concerned does something like this make you?
So it is a bit concerning. Actually, it's been concerning for a while. As you said, you have to go back to 1929 to see something like this. And more often than not, we see this kind of concentration right before a crisis hits or right before the market actually takes a tumble. So we're hoping that we actually do skip that recession and the market can broaden out. We're seeing some signs of that, more or less. But still, we keep going back to tech over and over again, and NVIDIA, as you pointed out earlier.
I'm going to get to your stock picks, so we've got only a minute to go. But real quick, what's the greatest risk with respect to the Fed? Cutting too soon or too late?
Well, I think cutting too soon.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the stocks you have here, because these are decidedly not tech stocks per se, although I see a utilities play that probably is leveraged against the growth of data centers. Edwards Life Sciences, Corning, I hadn't seen Corning in a long time. Sentinel's a cyber stock. But you don't have the Palo Altos up there or the CrowdStrike. So it feels like you're really looking for some value here that nobody else is looking for, or sees, rather.
So we actually did have Palo Alto a few weeks ago with you, but you're right. You're absolutely right. We want to pick things that, people haven't chased up too much, right? So, and at least we can get some value out of that.
All right. Hey, Ayesha, always great having you. Thank you so much. Let's talk again real soon.